Winning in casual EDH is strange. The question, should you try to win or is it wrong to win in EDH, will have players immediately jump to both sides. Some saying it is obvious that you should try to win. It is ostensibly the goal of the game, but at the same time, many players feel it should not be the goal of casual EDH. And if you are trying to win, your goals don't align with the purpose of Casual Commander. This is something I hear about in the comment section of a lot of my videos. People saying that nobody should take my advice about upgrading your decks or building better lists because it's not CEDH. What's the point in improving your win rate 2%? And on some level, they're right. In casual EDH, should you even care about win rates or making a better deck? I mean, what is the difference between the casual and competitive mindset here? Well, that's what I want to talk about in today's video. Hey, do you want a cool Trinket Mage token? Well, you can have it by using my code TTM at checkout when you buy cards at Cool Stuff Inc. It gives you a discount and supports the channel. Thanks to Cool Stuff Inc. for sponsoring the video. So one thing that I want to get across is the idea that winning should at least be part of your goal. If your deck literally never attempts to win, then you aren't really playing a game of EDH. Like if you made a deck without any lands, and the goal is just to discard the hand size every turn to show me a bunch of cool cards that you own, I mean that's fine, but why are you taking a seat at the table? You could have just flipped through a binder and shown me a bunch of cards. And as a less extreme example, if your deck just does a bunch of random triggers or is pure chaos without any game plan, that's also going to feel somewhat similar. Like if I can ignore you completely, you have no impact on the game, you're not removing anyone else's stuff, you don't play things that require any removal because you're not moving towards a win, then why are you there? Do we need to stop and spend time on your turn if you're just going to make a bunch of triggers and then concede? I suppose it's funny if you do a bunch of random triggers, but ultimately it is just a waste of time because you could goldfish that off to the side and we wouldn't pause during your turn. Now I think most people can somewhat agree, right? You should be moving towards some sort of win, although you can't only care about winning, right? Like if you keep upgrading your deck in the pursuit of more wins, won't you just end up at CEDH? And if so, why waste time? Just skip ahead and build Blue Farm. But obviously that's a bit silly as well, right? In theory, your deck isn't constructed just to win, but to win in a specific way that you have chosen, and you don't want to adhere to the CEDH metagame. Which is why the answer lies somewhere in the middle, right? There is a healthy middle in EDH that you can aim for, like a 25% win rate, and build your deck to do that. But of course this can't be my conclusion, otherwise I'd be a hack video essayist, because this is obvious, right? Caring about winning a little bit is obviously the solution. Now, as a wise man once said, commentary YouTube is about being a clever contrarian. So here's where that comes in. I play EDH and CEDH the same. There is no difference in how I actually play the game. In both cases, I am playing to win. I use my removal or attack or try to make deals or whatever other thing I can do to attempt to win. Anything within the game is fair game. Now, partly, I think this protects the integrity of the game. Ristic Study does a good job explaining this. Part of the reason the card sucks is one player can say, I don't care about winning, and will never pay for the Ristic Study. This effectively gives the Ristic Study player a massive near game winning amount of card advantage and causes the other players to just lose. Or if you have a group hug deck with no win condition, that usually helps and amplifies the strongest deck at the table and leaves slower decks behind. By not caring about the win, you're not a bystander, but you are actively changing the dynamic of the game. It is now a 3-person game, which is very different. It is a lot harder for 2 decks to gang up on one stronger deck than it is for 3 players to do the same. I think by focusing on trying to win the game, no spite plays, no king making, it does help make the game more fair and balanced. But what about some of the spontaneous, wacky plays you can sometimes make? Well, when I play, I'm not going to deviate from my game plan to make some wacky, funny play. Now, many players might think that means my decks are very boring, or I'm unfun to play against. I mean, how could you not take the opportunity to make a funny, goofy play here and there? And I'd say to that, why is the funny, goofy thing your deck could sometimes do not part of your game plan? The tension between fun play and the correct play doesn't actually need to exist. A lot of this comes down to players having the default commander deck, meaning some creature mid-range pile. The vast majority of decks play creatures and attack for chip damage to win. Here's an example. Let's say you have a Rite of Replication in your deck with the intention of copying some zombie lord so you can attack for a lot of damage. But you find yourself having a lot more fun when you don't do that. And instead you make the silly fun play of copying some random thing your opponents have in play. You get more joy out of the random play pattern of stealing and cloning other players' things. Then the issue isn't that you should forgo winning to do the fun play, it's that your deck isn't fun. When I run into a player who doesn't tutor for their combo, or decides not to attack even if they have a lot of power on board, I'm usually just confused. Why is that in your deck then, if you're not going to use it? The difference in my CDH decks and casual lists is not how I play them. There's not some magical switch I flick when I play my CDH deck and I lock in and only play seriously. It's just in the deck construction. If I want to goad something and triple the damage with Jessica, then that becomes the goal of my deck when I construct it. I just build a fun deck in the first place. So when I play the game, I don't need to be throwing constantly to create the fun. My deck is fun originally. I think there's this idea in casual EDH that you can't be trying too hard. That's sweaty and competitive and not really allowed, but it's all context dependent. There's nothing wrong with wanting to improve your deck and make it more consistent. There isn't anything wrong with going for a win. It is a game after all. And trying to win is important for this game to function. Cards are for the most part designed with the intention that you will be utilizing them to push towards a win of some kind. And by not doing so, it just messes with how the game is designed. But to have fun during the game, all you gotta do is build your deck to be fun. Fill your list with the fun interactions that you want to happen. And that's really about it. Editing Trinket here. Actually, one last note about upgrading your decks. I feel like people also misconstrue upgrading as increasing the power level of your deck, but increasing the consistency is not the same thing. If I upgrade my mana base such that I have perfect mana all of the time, that will make it so I don't have games where I'm color screwed and am unable to cast certain spells. That raises the floor of how badly the deck can do on its low end, but it doesn't actually increase the ceiling. The strongest play patterns the deck still has doesn't actually change. This is kind of the myth of the Commander arms race. You don't actually have to make your deck faster and more powerful. There are other side upgrades you can do to make it better without strictly increasing win rate. Also, it's just fun to upgrade decks. There's something cool and unique about having new cards interact with really old cards in ways the designers never intended. This is a special feature of eternal formats in Magic, where you have all these different ideas and different set mechanics that happen to work together. And that can create a unique, fun deck building idea, which may or may not be an upgrade to your deck, but it is at least fun to try. You can try as hard as you want to make a jank deck powerful, but ultimately if your final goal is jank enough, it's not going to be too strong. I really think that this idea that you have to sort of give up your intent to win for casual EDH is just a bit silly. And it all just comes down to your deck construction more than anything else. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my tier 3 patrons whose names you see here. And if you want to be in the credits, check out the Patreon link below.